I thought my roommate's new boyfriend was the rudest person I'd ever met until a random cavalry encounter changed everything I understood about communication. When my roommate Ellie started dating Michael 3 months ago, I tried to be supportive. He seemed nice enough, pert and tall, well-dressed, worked as a software developer, but whenever he'd visit our apartment, he'd completely ignore me. I'd say hello and he'd look directly at me but say nothing in response. If I asked him a question, he'd turn to Ellie instead. During group conversations, he'd never laugh at my jokes or acknowledge my comments. It was infuriating. Your boyfriend is kind of a jerk. I finally told Ellie one night after he left. What do you mean he completely ignores me, like I am not even in the room? I frowned. That's weird. He always talks about how nice you are. I thought she was just being defensive. The tension built for weeks until yesterday when I was working on my laptop at a class out downtown. I noticed Michael sitting alone 2 tables over, looking at his phone. Perfect chance to confront him without Ellie around. I walked over, waved and said, "Hey Michael." He looked up, smiled widely and started moving his hands rapidly in patterns. A woman at the next table looked between us and said, "He's asking if you are a friend of Ellie's." I stood there frozen. I asked the woman, "I am an interpreter," she explained. "He's saying he recognizes you as Ellie's roommate." My stomach dropped as Michael kept signing. The interpreter continued, "He's asking if Ellie told you he's deaf. He says sometimes she forgets to mention it." I slowly sat down, my entire body hot with embarrassment. For 3 months I'd been talking to someone who couldn't hear me, interpreting his inability to respond as rudeness. The interpreter helped us have our first real conversation. Michael had been reading my lips the whole time, which is why he knew who I was and what I said around him. He just couldn't respond in a way I understood. When I told Ellie what happened, she was horrified. I thought I mentioned it the first week. I am so used to it that I forget others don't know. Sometimes the person you think is ignoring you is actually working twice as hard to understand you.